So you're telling me you've got a movie with Brad Pitt, Sandra Bullock, and a speeding train? How could that possibly go off the rails? Well, it does. So Bullet Train is a movie I've been looking forward to for a while. The trailers look cool. I love Brad Pitt, Sandra Bullock. You've got Brian Tyree Henry. You've got Aaron Taylor Johnson. The film looked like a little bit of a Guy Ritchie, a little bit of Quentin Tarantino. Of course, directed by David Leitch, who did Deadpool 2. He did it. I believe he also did Atomic Blonde, which I quite enjoyed. So this guy's a good director. I've enjoyed a lot of his action movies. And so going into Bullet Train, it gave me a lot of hope. Unfortunately, this isn't a movie that worked for me entirely. But it's not without, its moments. Brad Pitt is as charismatic and as charming and as funny as ever in this movie. I really like his character. You've got Aaron Taylor Johnson and Brian Tyree Henry who play twins in this movie. And you're asking, how can they possibly play twins? But they do, and they have some great banter back and forth. So the movie does have its advantages. You do have a lot of the quippy, quick-witted kind of sarcastic humor back and forth between all the characters. The dialogue's quite good in for the most part. And then there is some kick-ass action, all while on this bullet train set in Japan. And there is a story to it, but it's not much of a story. The point of this movie wasn't really to get us invested in the story of the movie. It wasn't to get us emotionally attached to the characters. And that can be a good thing, because sometimes you just want a movie where you just watch some crazy action happen on screen for an hour and a half or 2 hours. But also, sometimes those movies can leave you wanting some kind of an emotional connection, some kind of a story that you can get invested in and care about the characters. Because here's the thing, it's not a either or, it is a both and. You can have a traditional popcorn action flick, and you can have great characters and a great story. You can do both. I would argue Die Hard, the original Die Hard, is one of those movies. You care about John McClane in that movie. And so stylistically, and the way this movie is shot, it looks visually very great, very, beautiful, and the movie looks great, and there's a lot of great action, a lot of great dialogue. The movie can be quite funny. There are some points in this movie that had me, laughing pretty hard. However, the movie has this weird, I don't want to say pacing, but the way the movie is edited and structured, it's kind of like a bit frantic. And you would think, frantic pacing, frantic editing would give this movie a really good, fast-paced cadence to it. It doesn't. It actually has the opposite effect, where at a certain point, it just gets exhausting, for the viewer, and not in the good way, where you're like, oh my God, all this action. I'm overwhelmed by how great all this action was and how fast-paced the movie is. No, it actually has the opposite effect on me personally, and this might be just me. But at a certain point through the movie, maybe about an hour in, I'm like, I'm over this. It's sort of this mystery as to Brad Pitt's got this silver briefcase that he's got to protect, and all these other people on the train are trying to get it, but you're not really sure why. And so then all this action starts happening, and at a certain point, I'm like, I don't care. And I'm not invested because I don't know anything about these characters, aside from the fact that they're funny and they kick ass. And so I ended up just feeling like, meh, at the end of the day. And this is a movie that I was excited for, and I really wanted to like it. And it can be enjoyable. It does have its moments. There are scenes in this movie that are great and fun and entertaining and funny, and there are scenes in this movie where it's like, give me more of that. But I just felt like as the movie went on, it got further and further away from what it could have been. And if you'll pardon the pun, the movie really did kind of fall off the rails. And I just couldn't get on board with it. I know I'm unintentionally making train puns here, but you can't help it. Bullet Train is not a movie that worked for me overall. So unfortunately, I have to say that I didn't really like Bullet Train all that much, despite the fact that it does have some, scenes that are enjoyable, some redeeming qualities to it. But I felt like you've got this great action director who can do action really well, but I just feel like you had all the pieces there. I just don't feel like it came together as a cohesive film overall. But that's just me. You know, a lot of people are enjoying Bullet Train, you know, for what it is, and that's fine. That's perfectly okay. I want to know what you guys think. Have you guys seen Bullet Train yet? If you have, make sure you jump down in the comment section below and let me know your thoughts. You know, did it work for you? Did it not work for you? Brad Pitt's great as always. Overall, Bullet Train, not a movie that worked for me. But again, I want to hear from you guys. And also, if you haven't been here before, make sure you hit that subscribe button and ring that notifications bell so you never miss out on my take on all things movies. My name is Tom. Thank you very much for watching, guys, and I will see you next time. Get on the train!